guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I recorded this tutorial for you using the Morphe 35O palette, the ever so coveted Morphe 35O palette. I was able to get my hands on this bad boy in the second restock, and oh my word, I'm so happy I got it. This is what it looks like. I'm sure you've seen it around, but this is my palette, life palette. If ever I needed only one palette to take somewhere, it would be this one. Today I used this pinky orange, this rusty brown, this dark bronze shimmer, and this super light bright red shimmer. And I used them all over the lid and smoked them out underneath. So if you want to see how I got this look using the Morphe 35O palette, just keep on watching. Hi guys, to start this look off, we're going to go in with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Equalizer in Smoothing. This is my first time using this primer, and it smelled really good and it filled in my pores pretty well. Next, we're going to go in with the HangoveRX primer by TooFaced, and I use this just on my cheeks, around my acne, to keep the skin around my acne moisturized throughout the day. Following that up with NYX HD Concealer in the shade Green. I just dot this all over all of my redness from my active acne. To help counteract the redness, I went a little crazy on the one side, so I have to buff that out for a while. But as you can see, adding that green really lessens the red on my face, which then makes it so when I put foundation over my acne, it doesn't look purple underneath the foundation. After buffing out that concealer, I'm going in with the TooFaced Born This Way foundation in the shade Nude. I do like this foundation, but I found that over the length of the day, it tends to look kind of cakey on my skin. And I don't know if that's because I use too much setting powder or what. I'm still trying to figure out and find my perfect foundation. But for the good majority, the coverage of this foundation is good for my acne. And it doesn't break me out, which is really important. Next, I'm going in with the UrbanDecay Naked Skin Concealer in the shade Light Neutral. This concealer is only one shade lighter than my foundation, and I like to use it underneath my under eyes to basically just conceal whatever dark circles might be there. And then I use this NYX concealer, which is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in the shade Fair, to actually highlight the center of my face. So I put it on the very tops of my cheekbones, in the center of my forehead, and down the bridge of my nose. Also on the upper lip and the top of my chin. I added it in this look to the very bottoms of my cheekbones to try and bring my contour up just a little bit higher. Blending all that out with the Beauty Blender. Next, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit in Light. And the shade I'm using here to contour with the Real Techniques pointed foundation brush is called Java. I'm basically just lining where I see a shadow for my contour and then bringing it up towards my eyes, as well as the temples of my forehead and then my double chin. I'm learning more about contouring my face, and I feel like I have a long way to go. But for now, what I do is working, and I'm learning, which is important. I'm just blending that out with the e.l.f. blush brush. I used to blend this out with the Beauty Blender, but I always felt like the Beauty Blender stole some of the product, and it wasn't on my face when I was done blending. So I find that blending it out with a brush is better. Next, I'm going in with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder to set my concealer under my eyes because I do have pretty heavy creasing if I don't set it with the powder. I'm also going to bake underneath my contour. Next, I'm going in with the TooFaced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer to set that cream contour. Here it looks like I used quite a bit of bronzer and gave myself a little bit of a bronzer helmet, but I promise it didn't look like that in real life. And now we're going into my pride and joy, which is the Morphe 35O palette. I prime my lid using the Age Your Wind concealer, and using the Sigma E40, I just dusted a flesh-toned brown onto my entire lid. Then using the Sigma E30 pencil brush, I grabbed the bright pink shimmer shade from the palette and added that to my inner corner. Next, using the MAC 217, I grabbed the reddish orange from the palette and dusted that throughout my entire crease, focusing mainly on the outer corner. This color is very, very bright, so putting down that flesh-toned brown makes it easier to blend this shadow out. Also, going back in with that E40, as I always do, to blend out the harsh line between my brow bone and my crease. Next, taking the next deepest bronze shadow, which is still matte, I deepened up my crease just a tad bit more using that same MAC 217. The MAC 217 is talked about and raved about for a reason. It really does make it quite easy to blend shadows through your crease. When I first got it, I didn't understand it, but now that I've been using it for a while, it does make it easier to keep shadows in your crease. That last shade was just the next step darkest to deepen it out just a little bit more. Patting the shimmer bronze color from the palette on with my finger, I feel like Morphe's shimmer shadows just apply more better with your finger. So first I applied a deep bronze, and then after I topped that off with a more reddish bronze, and then deepened up the outer V with the very, very darkest brown in the palette. Going back in with that 217 to just make sure that everything is blended out to my liking. And then going back in with that E40 to really make sure that all those shadows are blended out correctly. Next, I applied the white shimmer shade from the palette to my brow bone using an e.l.f. shader brush. Next, I applied a very thin line of black liner using the KatVonD Tattoo Liner in Trooper just to prep my lashes for falsies. I find that adding this line makes your natural lashes blend just a little bit easier with false lashes. Next, curling those babies up, adding a coat of TooFaced Better Than Sex Mascara. And for falsies today, I'm going in with Huda Beauty lashes in the style Carmen. I'm obsessed with these lashes simply because they are very flared out at the end of the lash, and it makes it almost look like you're wearing a wing when you're not, which is always nice. After all that blending and applying my lashes, I needed to retouch up that brightness in the inner corner. And then I basically just smudged the lower lash line with every single shadow I used on the top, finishing it out with the bright orange. I also added UrbanDecay Perversion to my waterline, but I didn't get a clip of that. So here I am showing you the entire eye look, and now I'm telling you that we're going to finish our face. So here I'm applying Studio Makeup's blush in the shade Wildflower. I got this blush in my BoxyCharmed, and I'm obsessed with it. Here are Anastasia Beverly Hills Illuminators in Peach Nectar and Starlight. First I go in with Peach Nectar and add that simply to where I applied my blush. This illuminator has a very pinky tone to it, and I can't put it on my forehead without my forehead appearing to be pink. So I used that as a blush topper, and then I highlighted the rest of my face using the Starlight illuminator. Here I'm lining my lips with MAC lip pencil in the shade Soar, and then adding, this is my favorite gloss by Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Kristen. And that's the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I see you in my next one.